Hey folks, it's Shane from Performance EV. Today we're going to dig deeper into our Tesla Gen 3 charger. Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us. So, for those of you new to this channel, this is my little spot on YouTube where I do electric conversions on fun and interesting cars. And I can put a link up above where it'll show you what we've been up to recently. So, what's the plan on this one? Got our Tesla Gen 3 charger. We took a look at it in the last video and I want to try and dig deeper into it. I'm going to see if I can get underneath at least one of the boards to check out what's underneath there. If that doesn't work, we're going to just start the process of converting it so it'll work in the Porsche. And basically that involves cutting out some of the wiring and cutting out some connections to the logic board, putting in some wiring so I can attach an off-board logic board to this onboard charger. It'll make more sense either in this video or in the next one. But yeah, let's go and start digging and see where we get to. All right, now we've got access to all this. What I need to do is try and get this conformal coating off the key points that I want to desolder. I won't take it off everything, but I'll try and just get it off the points that I'm going to need to access. No idea what's going to work. We'll try just maybe scraping it off first and see how it goes. It's pretty soft and pliable, so we might have some luck with that. Let's get to it. Alright, so that took me about half an hour of scraping away. I've got a big pile of the coating to throw in the bin. I did notice a couple of blown resistors, always in the same place, this R2 100 ohm resistor. So I'll probably see if I have a couple of those lying around and just replace those while I'm playing around with these boards. But yeah, we've got a little bit more work to do just to clear them up properly so I can properly desolder, but it's nearly there. So before I go too much further with disassembling this, I just want to make sure I run a very basic power test through it and see if it actually switches on and thinks it's alive, so that when I take it apart and put it back together, if it doesn't work, I'll know that I made the mistake and not that it was already broken. So let's give this a go. So basically attached a power and ground lead to the top left and bottom left pins on this respectively, on this connector, and that'll just send very basic 12 volts to the board here and to the charger as a whole, and that will just tell it that it needs to wake up. Beyond that, it shouldn't do anything because there's no other signals going in, nothing telling it what to do. So yeah, let's give this a go. So we've got 3 LEDs showing up, one on each side, so that's positive, and that seems to have now gone back to sleep. I think that's what it's supposed to do, so yeah. Alright, so a bit of an update on this. I've been trying to see what I can do to get in underneath these boards. So obviously they've got kind of bolt-on connections to various mounts here, but then there are also some heavy-duty components that sit underneath, but those are then glued to the The base, because that's where the cooling goes through, and that, you know, that helps keep them cool. They are really chunky, and to be honest, I'm not managing to really get any traction in terms of desoldering them, so I'm going to give up on that idea. These boards are really thick, so I know they can, I'm sure they can handle the heat, but I really don't want to risk damaging it and not having it usable and having to source another one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of touch up all the joints that I've managed to get a little bit of solder off, make them so that they're perfect again, and then we'll turn our attentions to this end of the board and sort that out, so we can get it working the way I want it to, but without having to remove the entire thing. So just to say, I know this isn't impossible. I know people have managed to do it. I've seen the pictures, but yeah, I don't want to do it. I've got some decent kit in terms of soldering and desoldering, but it's not going to be really up to the task of this. Okay, so what we've done here is basically we've desoldered the connection where the logic board actually talks to each of the individual charging modules, and I've individually kind of pulled out the pins. So these are totally clear. There's nothing going back to the logic board from these. So what I'll do then is I'll put a connector on this side with some cable going into it that'll run out through somewhere. Haven't yet decided that. And basically that will be our logic control. So that'll go to the logic board that I'm going to use to control all this. So basically I need to get data to these pins. It's a range of things from just kind of some voltage, so it actually runs, enable signals, and CAN signals. So there's a total of 8 pins. I think 7 of them are actually used. Now I could solder wires directly to here, but I don't really want to do that. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use a connector. So this is a little Molex connector. It's a right angle one, and my plan is to, I'll do it on this one so you can see it a bit better, insert the pins into the board and solder them in there, and then I'll put the wires into this end of the connector and I'll be able to just plug it in like that. Okay, so what I'm planning is I will have cable running to somewhere around here that will go into each of the Molex connectors. Then we'll run it along through this kind of routing up here. What I'll do then, rather than taking it to this connector here, is I'll then send it up through this path here, which then I'll be able to access there. What I might also do is a couple of cables, again routing through here to get data from the, or to, you know, to get power, not power, but to be able to read power from the positive and negative bus bars. So that'll be basically battery voltage. And also I'll have something going in here to then go underneath this to give me the DC contactor control. Okay, so here's the cable we're going to use for most of it. So this is shielded 0.22 mil square 15 cable. So should be plenty of wires to go in there. So yeah, so we're going to run that from there and ultimately try and get it full length to around here, and we'll just then cut it as needed. Okay, so we figured out our routing for our data cable back to here, and what I'm going to do is basically strip back the insulation to around this point, try and just feed the wires through in a, so they can get around this corner, and basically what we'll have is a bunch of them going to here, a bunch more coming to here, and then to here. Some of them are actually kind of almost looped together, so we'll add those in as well. And basically all this question of doing is adding the pins in and pushing them into these connectors here. here's everything wired up. So we've got, all the different things going in, 12 volts, 5 volts, 3.3 volts, ground, CAN, enable and activate. And then we've got a little termination resistor there for the CAN on the end one, just to make sure the protocol is working as planned. All right, so didn't manage to get underneath the boards. Would have been cool, but at the end of the day, I want to get this car on the road. I want to make progress. I want to produce content that you guys can enjoy. And me spending 2 days trying to desolder, 16 solder joints is not worthwhile. So, not to say I won't try it again in the future. Maybe if I've got a bit more time in another one of these, I might try again. But for the moment, this one is going back in the car as is. So we've got it wired up, ready to go. Next step is to see if it actually works. So we'll hook up the board and try and put some power to it. But for now, I think this is a good place to stop. I'm happy with what we've done. If you like this sort of thing and you want to see more of it, please consider subscribing. Click the notify icon, drop me a like or a comment, always appreciated. But till next time, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.